If not, run and go and subscribe already. Because this episode is juicy. I need you guys to keep watching. So remember episode 1 was about girls, episode 2 was about boys. Today, not today. Episode 3. Keep watching, is boys versus girls. I be girls versus boys. It is hot today. So in the studio with me, I still have the girls and I still have the boys. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, meet the guests. So guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the House of the Ryan.
So nice to be here, though.
Yeah. It's good to have you guys back. So there's this matter I want make we settle. Again, one question where I ask. Wait, all of you confuse me. You confuse me. I don't know what I would do. So I decided I will bring you people back. Let's settle the matter, Abby. Let's settle it. I asked something about gender roles. When they talk about gender roles, the continuation, guys. So in the first episode, the girl said they do not. But this particular communicator said she does not support gender roles. She supports gender roles. It leads to gender discrimination. And our men, the boys, support gender roles. So I want maybe table that matter, maybe break that table, maybe come to an understanding. Abby? So, talking about gender roles again, you said you do not support gender roles, and the guys are saying they support gender roles. So women, what do you have to say about that? Tell the guys what you have to say, and the guys will tell you what they have to say. Talk your mind on this show. Say it. I'll start with our communicator. She came well packaged today. TK, it's your show. Have it. Tell us.
Okay. Actually, my opinion about gender roles still stands.
No change.
I don't actually support gender roles because I believe in the quality of human beings, people as people. I actually had an experience. It's very difficult as a woman growing up in an African society or in the world at large not to have an experience of gender discrimination that definitely comes about because of gender roles. In our home, like I said before, I grew up with my brothers. I had a younger brother, and I could see the preferential treatment subtle that they gave him over me, even though I was older. And in certain situations where I felt like I could have exercised my experience and age, he would just call me like, oh, I'm the man, to me you are nothing, you're just a woman, all that. So I felt I come from a place of hurt, yes. That is why I don't support gender roles.
Pakam. Sister, obviously, do you have anything to add to what she has just said?
I know the sister. I believe that there should be division of labor. That's the only way anything can happen effectively. Now, if there aren't any gender roles, because why shouldn't men provide? I'm not saying women should not provide as well, because I'm a feminist and I obviously agree. But I mean that there should be divulge of activities. Men should behave a certain way and women should behave a certain way. That's the only thing anything can effectively happen.
I use spice what I just said. So the boys that support gender roles. Waiting you get to talk about waiting our sister TK they talk about. Waiting. I don't want now Daniel will start this matter. So come.
Okay, I would start by picking the point where she said she sees people for people.
Okay.
I don't feel it's possible for you to see people for people.
Not a year.
Because if you grow up in a house where you have more than one siblings, let's say you have 4 siblings and some are boys, some are girls, you don't treat them the same way. You don't undress where in your brother's room. You don't enter your brother's room the way you enter your sister's room. With notwithstanding the age difference between you if you're older or you're younger, so you get. So that's that. Then for gender roles, I feel like there has been a code of conduct for different genders right from the onset by societal organizations and professional institutions where they assign certain responsibilities to based on your gender.
Okay.
So I feel it just has to do with the results. we have better results when we do things based on how powerful we are in those aspects. So I still support gender roles, and I deny, I argue, I stand to argue with everything she has said.
How does that debunk sin? How does that?
Yes,
You
I
didn't
actually
give
wanted
any
to
solid
say that.
example.
It's getting hot.
Because of you mentioned that okay, seeing people for people is an issue.
Yes.
And then you made an example that is totally
Totally
not
different.
irrelevant
No,
to the argument.
no.
Wait, let me land. Let me make my point.
Una dey hear?
Let me make my point.
It's getting juicy,
said that-
everybody.
Okay, I shouldn't see people for people because I can't like undress in front of my brother. You're talking about biology. I'm not talking about gender roles. Gender roles, just like you rightly said, it's a society that they kind of like thrust these roles on people. They force it on people. And who is the society? It has been from a history of men. Men have always been the pioneers of history and all that. So I feel like it's a narrative that favors men because they are the one that wrote it. That's my problem.
Ha!
I'm not talking about biological roles. I'm talking about gender roles.
No, but you
Please.
said, first of all, you said you are making your argument based on the fact that you want to see humans for humans. You want to see people for
people for people.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
In-
And in a context of when we are talking about gender roles, you can't say you want to see people for people and expect me to see different. If you are saying you want to see people for people, you are saying you want to see TK for not being a man. You want to see him for TK. You want to consider the fact that he doesn't have breasts or he doesn't have
That
other
is
stuff.
biology. I'm talking about weight. I've had this argument several times, so I'm just going to make some of my points.
But
here.
this time around is different.
I'm
It's
just
on
going
my
to-
show.
I'm just going
It's
to
on my
make
show, guys.
I'm just going to
Continue.
make certain opinions here that I believe in. Let's take this scenario. You are my husband, I'm your wife, and you're supposed to be the head. I'm supposed to be like your subordinate because I'm your wife. Yes. And maybe in the area of specialty, like I am better with finances. I read accounting. Maybe I don't know, you're an artist or something. And because you are the man, you are automatically supposed to handle our finances. You support that. I am a professional in that field, but because I'm a woman, so no, I'm just a wife. I'm just supposed to support you and just watch you squander our money or invest irresponsibly, even when I have more experience. And that's the rule I'm talking about. The society just expects me to like, suck up to you. Whatever you say, oh, it's right. You're my head. You're my husband. No, that's what I'm saying.
Well, from my point of view,
Okay.
that's not what I see as gender roles. That is professional. I don't know if you understand. That is not what I thought we were arguing about. That is strictly professional.
Please educate us. What do you see as gender roles?
I see gender roles basically is having I think it's basically between two people.
Two people.
Yes, people who are married.
Guys, I am humbled.
Married.
Yes,
So
or
wait,
children.
you
or-
never experienced gender roles in a
know
family
what?
setting when you
I
were
feel
growing
like-
up.
Okay.
I've not finished talking now.
Hold
You
on,
are just-
okay,
You asked me
okay.
a question, I'm answering it,
Okay.
and you're saying.
Wait. I want us to come to an understanding right now. She was talking about, I think I'm understanding from both ends. She said something about being an expert in accounting.
Yes.
She's saying the man in a home, of course, she's not talking about how your profession right now. That in a home, of course, it's my profession already, but I have a better knowledge. You should let me in when there is need.
You know what?
I
I
never
feel
said
like-
I would not
I feel
let
like your
you
definition.
We need to understand
Is
your point.
misplaced. No, it's misplaced.
We need to
because
understand what you
when you
understand
said
by
between
gender
two
roles
people,
before we
when you
continue with
said
the
between two
argument.
people, you did not even specify if it was male or female. You just
No,
made it seem like it
no,
was anybody.
no, I've not finished. I didn't finish my definition.
Okay.
The
Wait.
start was misplaced.
Okay, it was misplaced from the start. And BT, bring us to the beginning.
I mean, the house is getting hot.
It's hot, everybody.
Yes. I like the angles that everyone is arguing from. So, but basically, I still stand. I strongly support gender roles. But like I said the last time, doesn't mean, or doesn't give anyone an excuse to be lazy. Gender roles, in a layman's understanding, let's say, woman, you're supposed to cook. Man, you're supposed to do like this. This one, you're supposed to do like this. Okay, you don't support gender roles. But come side now.
TK, go side.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, come to the site, come and walk small, carry blocks, see how to
But you know
No,
that
that's
my
the
body isn't made for that. I don't have big
But you
muscles
support
as men.
but you don't support gender
Look, and
roles.
that's the issue. I like to clarify things. When I'm talking about gender roles, I'm not talking about biological roles.
So see,
Biologically, wait,
you
let me
have-
say
you have-
something.
no,
No,
because
wait,
you have to make
I have
us
to-
understand.
wait,
because
Society,
I don't understand.
society has
Biologically,
made it in such a way that
No.
such things like carry construction, all those kind of things. Now that is the norm now.
No.
It's-
See,
I
wait, big T,
Okay,
wait.
okay.
Biologically, you have muscles. Men are built like with a stronger frame than women. So there's certain like heavy weightlifting that I can't do, obviously.
It takes training.
I can't do. I don't have the
And
strength for
and
that. I wasn't made for
aside
that.
that, and aside that, if you
I
are
wasn't
speaking of
made
gender
for
roles, you
that.
cannot remove biology from it.
I want to let
The way you
know
are
that-
saying biologically, you cannot. You
Want to
have
let
to
you know
make
that-
those.
No,
Those
that
rules
is
were set
that
based
is
on some
why
certain.
that is why I'm clarifying things. When it comes to like when biology comes into play, I live it.
Biology will have to come into play all the time.
No, all the
It's
time.
hard.
No,
It's hard.
all
You
the
cannot ask your
time.
husband to give birth.
Excuse me. This example
Okay.
You are
that I made
pregnant. You
mention.
now come and tell your husband
This
that.
example about a husband and a wife that I just mentioned now. How does biology play there?
Okay, wait, guys.
About heading finances. How does biology
I
play
didn't.
there?
When she talked
problem
about
comes
gender
from-
roles,
from-
I didn't understand what she was saying because what you are bringing in now, I don't feel it's
You
gender.
think it's not
I don't-
gender roles?
I didn't feel
Where
it's
did you
gender
grow up
roles.
from?
See this
Where
finance.
did you grow up from?
Okay, wait, guys. Hold up. Let's come to understanding. Cause myself, I dey learn. Guys, are you learning? He was. So let's come to an understanding now. You're talking about biological rules here.
Yes.
You talk about a man automatically have strength a woman does not have. So she's seeing that as a biological role, and of course, giving birth for a woman is a biological role as well. So we're talking about roles like
Society.
societal roles like washing of plates, cleaning of the house, taking children to school, and
Cooking.
all
That
and
has nothing to do
provision.
with finances. She
Provision.
brought in finances.
No. Okay, Tokwase argue that.
Yeah,
What
she
I'm-
brought in
I
finances.
Finances
Because
is an angle,
let me
one
say,
angle
let
I
me
looked
say,
at it from.
mm,
One
let-
angle I looked at it
That
from.
is personal. There are so many people that would allow their wives. In fact, most marriages, their wife decide where they stay, the kind of houses they build. Sure, you get their wives decide the kind of cars they buy. Before they buy a car, they ask their wife if she's okay with it, even
Okay.
if it's not the main car in the house.
Big T. Me, I like Big T. Are you guys noticing that I like Big T? Because I will always call him. Big T, what's your take? You know, this one talk about finances. They just talk, they mix things, they talk things. Clarify us on top this matter. I said we go settle this matter today.
Basically, this matter, different views, different opinions.
Okay.
You get, I get from the guys with me, I get from the other side now. Get the way the thing they jam, you know. Okay, she's saying something about finances. This finance matter, you know, finance is always an issue inside house.
Yeah.
Personally, of which I would not allow for that kind of thing to happen. But if, let's just say if, I'm not saying it's going to happen. If, for instance, me like this, come be say, I know 2 pound, then my wife or my partner has more than I do and has more knowledge about how handling the finance, and I'm aware that she knows how to handle this finance. Why not?
And you've
Most
seen
men will
results.
allow
And
their ego to.
But you've seen
No.
results.
Most men will not allow their ego.
That one is personal.
It
That one is not
happens
based on
a
the
lot.
gender.
That one now.
That one is not based on the
now.
gender.
Okay.
That one now.
Okay,
There's
wait.
something that there
Wait.
is something that is. You say ego. Okay.
Yes.
That is a factor.
Egocentric.
That is. A
Men are
factor.
mostly egocentric.
No.
Okay, so wait.
Wait, I want to clarify something now. Daniel,
Yeah.
let's take another scenario. Forget about the finances.
Okay.
We are growing
I was
up
about it.
in a home, and you okay, I have brothers, and then they grow up. They train us, the girls, to cook. They don't allow the boys into the kitchen. They just say like, "Hey, man, is not supposed to be in the kitchen." Have you heard that kind of thing before?
Yes.
It happens. So, what do you think about that?
And that is still.
Do you
still-
support that?
Yes, I support it.
Why?
Because you have to train people. You can't. It's better to train somebody to be competent in one part than to be. They say jack of all trades is a master of none.
I'm glad
So you have to
Wow.
train people
Seriously,
in a area of part
okay.
in a particular area to have strength in that
Okay,
particular
so-
area.
so
every
you
part.
I
I-
support him
I'm
to an
humbled.
extent because I believe that as a lady, you should know your place in the kitchen.
Who put that that
should
who
know your
made that
way
place?
around. You should know your way
Who
around.
created that place?
It's a code of conduct.
code of
to make
conduct.
life
Who created
easier,
a code
to
of
make living
conduct?
easier.
Who
Men.
did it?
Men.
Men.
No, when I say
To
men,
favor you.
I don't mean
Men, to
just
favor
gender.
you.
I mean human beings.
Human
as a
beings.
whole.
Yes.
No.
No, but you disagreed now. You didn't say that women should cook. You said they should be trained to know how
How
to
to
cook. and
cook.
you
Yes.
read it to
Why
women.
can't you train
That's what
men
I
to
say.
know how
No.
to cook? I believe that everybody eats. Everybody gets
no one
hungry.
said
I'm
men
saying,
should not be trained.
I'm saying why I
he
support
said
it.
so.
Is because you should have a division of labor to get better results.
I see.
And
I see.
I
So
want to-
people
I want
should
to
be
understand-
inadequate in
If you're
certain
going to
areas.
steal what
Not
they
even
said,
when
that's-
they can be
that's-
well
no,
equipped.
no, that's no, that's not
I
what
am
I
not
said.
good.
That's not what I didn't say. People should be inadequate. I said
No,
people
by
should be.
implication. That's what you're saying. By implication. You need
I
to look
didn't
at
say
it very well before you say
Okay,
it.
guys, enough of it. Let's come to an agreement. I think you understand where the women are coming from. Understand where the men are coming from. I'm sorry, they are correcting me that they are not women. Because
Because
they,
I'm not correct. He's a woman. Don't mind that shit.
I understand where the women are coming from. I understand where the men are coming from. I understand where the girls and the boys are coming from. Well, guys, I just want us to come to an understanding. She said she does not support gender roles. That a particular role shouldn't be assigned to a particular gender. E.g., cooking. Cooking has been an issue from day one. Now, why can't the man cook? Why can't the woman cook as well? But I hope you all agree with me. Because now me be boss. You see my share? Let me sit where. Because now me be boss. I want us to come to an understanding. This is where I'm coming from. I think that I support gender roles. Because first, she gave an example. I'm sorry, I'm just saying my own opinion. And she gave an example of biological roles. So if we're talking about roles now, let's forget about the biological roles. Let's keep it aside right now. We'll come to an understanding that the truth is that it's not everything a man can do, a woman can do. Basically, we're talking about roles like lifting of the generator, heavyweight and such things. So definitely there has to be a division of labor. Do you understand? So if you agree with me, say aye.
So can I just add to that without being subjective? Let me
Okay,
just be
no
objective.
problem.
I strongly believe that. Okay, I believe in gender roles as I said earlier, but I don't support all of it. For example, gender roles is cut across personality traits, occupation, because there are more nurses, there are more female nurses than there are male nurses, and there are more male doctors than there are female doctors. I also said that there has to be division of labor for anything to effectively happen. And when it comes to cooking has always been a constant argument. Every time feminists always argue that women should not always be the ones to cook, and men should also not always be the ones to provide. But this is what I believe: cooking is a life skill, and it's okay for a man to know how to cook. But when it comes to a stance or an institution like marriage, for example, you have to understand that you should have a place in the kitchen. It sounds absurd to hear, but it's the truth. At least one person has to cook and the other person has to fend. The other person that is also fending can also cook, and the other person that is also cooking can also try to fend. So I feel like they have to learn how to meet each other in the middle. The man can cook, the woman can cook, the woman can provide just as the man can provide. So we all have to just come to an area of compromise. That's the only way we can
Actually,
get
Okay,
I agree with that to an extent.
Okay.
I agree with that to the extent where, if I have to cook not because I'm a woman, I have to
Yes.
cook based on certain factors.
Yes.
Time factor too matters.
Your job.
Yes,
Your
my
job.
job. Yes,
Okay.
it matters. Who has more time should be able
Yes.
to do it.
Yes.
Let it not be seen that whether I come back from work. Just take for instance, I work late hours more than my husband. I come back around 5, and maybe he has been at home since
11
12.
a.m. safe.
Yes, and he does
Morning.
nothing. He's just waiting for me to come back stressed
true.
out
That's-
and come and cook again.
Yeah, that's
No.
wrong. That's
Yeah,
wrong.
I
Actually,
disagree.
we should always learn to meet each other in the middle.
Okay, guys, in conclusion, I want to say this matter never settled. This matter never settled because people have different opinions, but there's always a fact. That's just the truth. And she said something about occupation to add. I feel if a woman deserves a particular position in an office, in an organization, please give it to her. It shouldn't be that because she's a woman, give it to her. If a man deserves a particular position in an organization, give it to him as well. It shouldn't be because he's a man. So, guys, moving on. this matter we go settle am for outside. You guys say the matter no fit settle. So moving on, we don dey talk about gender roles and everything. We still na still the gender roles matter, but we just wan move forward.